Bob might skip Robin. What the fuck? Welcome to another Bob update, but this particular video is not specifically pertaining to Bob, or rather Bob's account progression. I have been thinking about this for a very long time, actually. Much longer than you guys would imagine. And I don't really know how to say this without sounding like a pessimistic baboon. Bob might skip Robin. What the fuck is he saying? Bob is skipping Robin. Kill him now. Holy shit, he's lying. Oh my god, how the travesty after all those years of the rank 1 Bobbin salesman. How dare Bob? Okay, I'm just gonna let the comment rage on for 10 seconds and we can move on, right? Alright, are we safe? You're good? I'm ragey? No, we're not good. We're not good. We're not good. Oh, there's a lot, dude. Nobody's good. Alright, you know what? Let's just get straight into it. First of all, I want to make this abundantly clear, right? Abundantly clear. This is not a pooling advice video, right? I am not suggesting you guys should follow Bob's footsteps or Bob's thought process, but I kind of want to offer a potential perspective that you guys can also think before just, you know, oh, she's Robin, poo. It is more about why. It is more about the why. And I've honestly gave this a lot of thought. All right. So why am I talking about this today? As of this time of recording, Bob has successfully secured D Herta. His stash is still very healthy at 35,000 Stellar Jades, which is gonna be putting us at roughly 218 pools, right? Minus the monthly pass that the fucking G-Buys topped up. We're still subtracting them every single day. Not a single paid gem will be spent on Bob's account, so it is what it is. We are at roughly 218 pools, which is gonna be slightly above Bob's heart pity. All right, we have luckily won. All right, Bob has won his 50-50 after breaking my own account. I lost two 50-50s back to back on my own account for both Herta as well as Jade. Bob actually won. So this is extremely happy news, right? This is extremely happy news. And this kind of brings us to the topic. How can I say such a horrible thing? Especially for like the past 1 week, I've been on about how important support is and everything, right? How can I say that Bob might skip Robin? So again, these are not facts. These are not objective truths. I just want to offer a thought process. It might not be right. It might not be left. It might be schizo. It might be genius. I will leave it up to you guys. This is not pooling advice. This is not pooling advice. This is not pooling advice. So everything that you guys do from this point onwards, it is based on your own decision, right? Do not blame me. Do not blame Bob. So let's talk about why. After securing D Herta, Bob's team is looking something like this, where we will be changing out Fire Trailblazer into Remembrance Trailblazer, and this will more or less be Bob's team 1. From what we have seen so far in our testings, in our pools, in a lot of other content creators as well, your players experience, Remembrance Trailblazer Gallagher, this can either be Herta or Saval. With D Herta, it is an exceptionally, you know, well-performing team against the environments like Memory of Chaos, Pure Fiction, or even Epoch Shadow, not the Coca-Cola side, right? The Banana Boss side. This is from a level 80 fully invested team. Now, obviously, Bob hasn't even... He's still crawling, right? Bob is still crawling. He hasn't even seen the sight of MOC yet. So, I'm talking about the general player base that have actually been playing this game like since day one on account stuff, right? So, that is Bob's Team 1. Now, this is where I really got to cook. For Bob's Team 2, let's pretend Bailu is Castorice. Bob is locked in for Castorice. I've asked him multiple times, who do you want to be your Team 2 DPS? And he told me repeatedly it is going to be Castorice. He doesn't want My Day. He doesn't give a fuck about whatever other. He wants Castorice. So we are trying to build a plan for Bob's Team 2. Now for Castorice, we know that she is a summon DPS, so it is very likely that Bob would need what? We need what? We need a support and sustain that can synergize well with a summon DPS. Now, chat. What's a support that has been touted as the summon DPS support? Now, some might say it's Sunday, right? Sunday is gonna be great. But unfortunately, Sunday is gone. Sunday just left us like last patch. Luckily for us, Tribbie is going to be a quantum harmony that is coming out in 3.1, which coincides in an interesting spot after Robin and before, I am guessing Castorice is coming out in 3.2. Right? I'm guessing she's coming in 3.2. So, realistically speaking, before Robin's banner goes away, we would have full knowledge of what Tribbie does. You don't need to be a leaker. Every single time before the banner ends, we would know fully what the next banner does. Because why? Because MrPokke is a goddamn Hoyo show, right? He plays the early access server, and he is gonna be uploading Tribbie's early access 1 week before Robin's banner ends. So, at this particular juncture, there might be a scenario where Tribbie can be more synergistic than Robin for Castorice. This is completely a guess. We have no idea if this is factual or not. But the reason why this is a cause of concern and a cause that Bob might not prove of Robin, or anyone if you're in this train of thought that you might not prove of Robin, is as a free-to-play like Bob, right? As a free-to-play or a low spender even, somebody that plays this game that doesn't pull for every single archetype, every single DPS, what do you think is more valuable to you in your account? Flexibility or specialty? I will not spoil the answer. I do believe, personally, someone that specializes in a specific team comp can achieve better performance than specializing in, or not specializing, but like building up multiple team comps. All right, a free-to-play account is more or less not gonna be too feasible to build up like your break team, your follow-up team, your crit damage team, your HP blade team, your whatever DOT team, your a free-to-play cannot build up all these teammates because every single one of these main DPS is at least 75 pulls or 77 on average, and that is not even factoring in you losing your 50/50s, right? So if we want to talk about bringing the maximum value, or at least in my opinion, for Bob's account to go above and beyond, locking down into a specific team, especially a team that the entire patch is going to be based upon, I think that might not be too shabby. Now, some of you guys might be saying, yo, some players had the exact same thought. The Blade mains. They thought Blade was going to be meta for the entirety of version 1. The DOT mains. They thought DOT was going to be meta for the entire version 1, and they went all in for units like Blade or like DOT. And look where has... The reason why I think this is a little bit more different is because version 3 has been known as the summon version. And it's a version that is quite literally lasting for an entire year, right? You have Mimo sprites that are barely scratching the surface. Our first Mimo sprite summon DPS is going to be Aglaia. And I feel that this is a little bit more different compared to like a subset of an archetype, right? Because we technically don't really have a fixed version 1 team comp. Is that fair to say? I don't think there was a big push for version 1, like a specific DPS team comp. Version 2, it was very, very clearly going to be basically your Emanator, that is Aircron, as well as Subrick, right? That was a super clear push. They are pushing for Subrick as well as Emanator very, very hard. Version 3, I feel like is most likely going to be pushing for the Emanator again. That's going to be Deikai Herta. And Summon DPS is more likely to be the Super Break of version 3 than a DOT of version 1.
But we have no idea whether support works with Castorice until free to live stream, or whether Tribbie will be another Sparkle situation. So at that point you are predicting still.
Yep, we are. We do not have any clue if Tribbie is going to be best in slot with Castorice. But we can make a very good guess based on what Tribbie does. That is the important thing. It is not about what Castorice does. It is about what Tribbie does. You know? It's like, for example, nobody knows that Babin or Rame is going to be best in store for Facial, right? Nobody knows what Facial did back then, because Facial came like super, super late. But the moment we know what Babin does, or at least people that actually play the game a lot, we know how ridiculous a triple 100% action value advance is at that point of time. Even though you didn't know how ridiculous Facial was, you will see the inherent value of Robin, right? So this is a very similar situation where I want to wait and see what Tribbie is offering for us before deciding between Babin and Tribbie. Now, of course, the best case scenario, the absolute best case scenario, right? We get Babin and we get Tribbie. But at that point, it is low-key a little bit of greed. Because you're basically pulling 2 times consecutively in 3.0, and then you're pulling again immediately in 3.1. So all these are factoring in that you don't lose a single 50-50. And I cannot account for that, right? I cannot account for us winning all the time. We might have won for D Herta, we might not be able to win for Robin. Or worst case, we lose both consecutively, right? So a free-to-play, or for at least for an account like this, I need to be factoring in for the worst case scenario. I'm not saying that I'm skipping Robin with absolute certainty, right? But I just want to kind of bring up this topic where don't be too locked in yet. That is my main takeaway from this. Don't be too locked in yet, especially when we are talking about a support rerun with a potentially might be a game-changing support. Because so far, a lot of the supports that released, they change quite a bit, right? They change quite a lot of things, right? So that is going to be what Bob is thinking going into the future, right? In comparison of Robin as well as Tribbie. Now, I have another point, not talking about Tribbie. This has nothing to do with Tribbie, but just Robin by herself. So let's pretend Queen Iphone is Robin, right? Just Robin by herself. I've asked members of my community, I've asked the Bob Council, and my villagers from my Discord at discord.gg/Pokke's village, right? If you guys want to join, just join our Discord. I've asked around, and I kind of wanted to get a grasp of how does it feel like to play a E0 S0 Bobbin. For me personally, when I am running my E2 S1, I feel great. I feel almost no energy downtime because of the E2. I feel ridiculous damage amplification because of the E1. The signature light cone gives us, you know, the 5 energy. I don't really feel any level of discomfort whenever I run her with any DPS team. She's basically there to get the job done. Now, for an E0 S0 Robin, I am, frankly speaking, a little bit concerned with the ultimate. Because, assuming that we do not pull for a signature light code, right? I don't have Bronya's S1. And I have no idea when the hell is Bob gonna get a Bronya S1. So the next best alternative is gonna be the Tomorrow's Journey with the attack buff, or Poised to Bloom. And this might not be that bad, especially if you run Robin with follow-up team, because follow-up attackers, they give you a lot of hits, so it definitely helps a lot with rotation, on top of running her with quick progradator. But I'm not sure if a summon meta can match up with a follow-up team's attack frequency, because every single hit is generating energy for Robin, right? And my biggest concern is, at that point, would she really be a good pick for Bob's team at E0 S0? Because the moment Robin runs out of ultimate, it's gonna be a pretty long time for her to get it back on. It is. And the kind of the way that the meta is shifting in our, our charge, our Mimo spread, right? You can take a look at Meme, right? You can take a look at, okay, pretend we have Meme. Meme is using a mechanic where it is based on the amount of energy that's generated by your entire team. Every 10 energy, 1% charge. Robin herself, frankly speaking, doesn't generate too much energy. You are basically using your skill, and that's like as fast as you can go. Right? It is as fast as she can go. And on top of that, another thing to consider is that she doesn't really attack. Now we have, okay, nothing to do with Tribbie again, but we have seen Tribbie's animation teased to be an attacking animation. Bro literally attacks the enemy and sends them to space, shown by Mihoyo themselves. So if we are basing off of the potential energy bottleneck, as well as the lack of frequency from Robin's own personal attacks, because let's just be real, when Robin base attack is literally a single target, right? If we factor both into one, I'm not too sure if an E0 S0 Bobbin's kit is gonna remain the optimal pick when we know that there might be energy problems. There are a lot of tools to solve this. Unfortunately, Bob does not have any of those tools. I don't have Huehue. I don't have S1. I don't have E2. I don't have Bronya's signature Lycon. The only thing I basically have is going to be Gallagher with Quid Pro Quo. And this Quid Pro Quo proccing, it also might not always be on Robin anymore. Because previously, this activity on Robin, especially in a team, for example, with like Fei Xiao, is quite easy, right? Fei Xiao doesn't even have energy anyways. Aventurine is just kind of chilling. So the most likely scenario that you're going to be getting Cripple Code is not for certain, but Robin is quite likely. But then they are releasing more and more units with higher and higher energy pools. D Herta literally has an ultimate cost of 220. Aglaia, we have been kind of teased that her ultimate cost is also going to be very, very high. So what if in the future they keep releasing these different units, these different DPS, they also have an extremely high energy cost. And then the funnel with Gallagher's Quid Pro Code doesn't even go into Robin anymore. It literally goes into D Herta. And that will downplay Bobbin's ultimate uptime even further. So with that, I kind of want to wrap it up at this point. In summary, number one, This is not pruning advice. This is not financial advice. This is not any advice. This is simply me kind of talking. I'm trying to bring you guys in the mind of Bob, right? In the mind of Bob, the thought process as to whether or not Robin is a must pull for this account. And I'm gonna keep it about, I'm not too sure. I cannot say for 100% certainty that Bob must get Robin anymore. Okay, wait. Actually, before we end this video, I kind of want to grab some thoughts from comments first. Then I'll incorporate it to the video as well. Yo, chat. Does Bob's thought process make sense? I want to see what chat is thinking. What is chat thinking? I kind of want to see. Okay, maybe not people that agree with me, but I kind of want to see disagreements, because disagreements are what drives discussion. Disagreements are what drives different perspectives, and we can all grow together as a community. Because I want to see people that don't agree with me. Okay, 40, I see you, buddy. All right, 40, what's up? Why do you disagree? Oh god. Okay, I can't pull you up because apparently if I pull you up, I'm gonna get leaked again. So I'm just gonna look at chat. So much pressure. Okay, you can let you cook. I'll try to see any people that have a reasonable argument. This thought process is what I do when picking my teammate. Okay. You wait for Tribbie early access and compare and prove recording. Yep, that is basically what I'm trying to do. I use E0 Robin in my facial team, but I would have big energy problems outside of it. Okay. Tribbie kit came at the same time as Robin Banner can wait. Yep, I know I can wait. But after saying all that, right, because we can wait for the Tribbie's kit and everything, anybody that like really like disagree, and I kind of want to hear where that thought process is. No leakers, by the way. No leakers. Because I'm really not relying on leaks. I'm just saying this with like a rational train of thought that you will quite literally know what Tribbie does before Robin banner ends. You know, I don't even need to pull immediately on Aglea or Robin's banner until 1 week before it ends. Because by then we will already know what Tribbie does. So it makes sense with no leaks involved. Let's see this. If there is a Sunday rerun, I would rather go for Sunday instead of Tribbie. Okay, that is fair. A Sunday rerun. That is a fair take. Is it worth to finish off Bubbin and pull for E1 as well and digital completely because of the situation? I'm not going to be responsible for that. Like I said, this is not a poor opinion. I just want to see any disagreements. It's a smart decision to just sate for the official info. Baka player minus spelling mistake. I think bro wants to say wait. Why do you let your managers play on call? Nope. It is not. And I already explained this, so move on, buddy. The same thing I said before, at the end of the day, it's just Gamba. Wait, pause.
Same thing I said before. At the end of the day, it's still a Gamma. You don't know whether Tribbie will age well, or whether she works with Castorice. Why not pull for an old reliable unit that we know is great?
Okay. So, an old reliable unit that we know for a fact has been working for the past 1 year, instead of gambling and theory crafting whether or not Tribbie works. I think there is a fair consideration, right? But Bubbin has been very, very, you know, she's like a brick. She's like a brick house, right? She's stable, she's solid. We know she works. She works very well with like pretty much every single team we've seen in the past 1 year. Solid. There is a fair point of consideration. You will know if Tribbie works or not. Yep, absolutely. Are you planning to clear MOC? Elon Musk 369. You think that Bob can clear MOC in 3 weeks? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Yeah, I wish I could, but let's just be real, right? Let's just be real. Let's just be real. Okay, yo, I want to hear Bubbin discussions, right? Instead of like fucking crazy ass expectations. How about Runmei? I'm not gonna even consider Runmei. I'm not even considering Runmei. Mainly because break team is not a priority for my current, and I do believe that Runmei specializes very, very well in break team. It's just that you know, I don't need her. Between Bubbin and Runmei, I honestly, it's just a constitution for Runmei. Brick is too expensive. I thought anyone can present in Runmei with new DPS. Bob is him. Is Bob pulling based on her last team or the flexible harmony? If the later one, I think Bob should pull for Bubbin more, since I doubt there will be another team push like her. Okay, you see, I would agree with you, Nini-san. We don't really see a lot of action value advancers. But that has kind of been changing with Meme. If E0 Robin buff is an issue, then can Jade make up for the differences via synergy with D hurt her? Even if she could, I'm not putting Jade, guys. I'm absolutely not putting Jade. So, it is what it is. Yeah, but as I was saying, the action value advance that we're getting from Bobbin, it used to be like pretty diabolical, right? But now we see units like Meme. And Meme has a built-in action value advance. And the thing is, the faster you build this charge, which is based on your energy regeneration, the faster she can cast this action value advance. So it is not a simple matter of fact of whether or not your Robin has enough energy to cast the ultimate anymore. It is now even more reliant on factors that were not part of version 2 or even version 1. Which is why I'm a little bit skeptical there. Did 40 say something? We don't have a light cone of Bobbin, and the rest of the stuff Bobbin is buffing isn't strong enough to make up for the energy issue. Sarah of the Lake. It is fair to wait for more info, but we know that Robin can work with summons already, so it is still a must pull considering how strong she is in all team types. Okay. Pikachu, great point. Robin, we know for a fact she will work with Mimo sprites. She will action value advance pull up Mimo sprites. But I kind of want to bring up a counterpoint, which is, you guys saw how Aglia works, right? And you guys see how Meme works. There are both Mimo sprites that can get pushed up by Bobbin. But even though they got pushed up, their actual impact is actually not significant at all. What the fuck does Meme do when she gets pushed up? She does an aura punch that basically does no damage outside of building up a little bit of charge. You know, it serves very little purpose that Meme gets this extra turn. Garment Maker, even if you give Garment Maker the extra turn, it is not as impactful as compared to Aglia synergizing using this enhanced base attack or casting the ultimate. It is almost as if the value of energy might be more important than the value of an extra turn now. But I'm completely talking based on theoreticals because we have no idea how the Mimo Sprite is going to turn out because we only have these two, Meme and Garment Maker, as the only two Mimo Sprites. And from what I've seen in these two, Robin's action value advance doesn't really impact them that much. So that is my potential counterpoint. Not saying you're wrong, but I just want to bring up this point of discussion as well, right? I do think that Robin's ability has extremely high value. Robin is universal, and you create DPS. You brought up energy issue. Robin Lycon has done rate up, which makes her light cone pool very, very high. Okay, UG ratio, the whole light cone value thing, right? Especially with the Danzans, it's great if you're someone that can afford to lose. I cannot afford to lose on board. That's the thing. I cannot afford to try and go happy, go and pull for this light cone, and then we lose this light cone. It is gonna fuck our account very, very badly. The main reason is because we have back-to-back high priority banners. It's not like the banner after Bobbin is gonna be a fucking Argentine Huehue banner, right? It's not like the banner after this is gonna be a Jade Sparkle banner, right? They are both very high priority. Quantum Harmony support Tribbie might change everything. I don't give a shit about my day, but assuming that Castorice comes out to be in patch 3.2, I don't think Bob can be in a position where he can afford to lose this Senfai 25 and get bricked. Unless we use this to pull for Castorice S1. But there is a potential of 140 summons though. There is a potential 140 summons, which is 22,000 Stellar Jades. It will be 22,000 Stellar Jades. Whether or not we have Danzans on the banner, it's not as important. Why? Because I'm already him. Alright, I am already him, so it's not that bad. I don't really feel, you know, the impact of S1 or S5 will change everything, especially since this account doesn't really care about 0 cycles, right? We have two actually. We have two, so it's not as significant for me. I will take that into consideration to Mr. Yuji, that we could try to gamba a little bit on Babin's Litecoin. But regardless, I think your main point was basically, once again, the universal value of Robin, right? Even if Robin does not work well with summons, or rather there's going to be more niche summon supports that are coming out that can be more synergistic than Robin, it doesn't take away the fact that Robin can work with pretty much every single crit DPS. That is a 100% valid point. And my counterpoint to that is something that I've already explained just now, which is I don't need a support that can work with every single team. Yo, Tribbie is #1 fan. That's crazy, bro. Hold up.
I give this take as relevant, but I'm not a fan of pulling for reruns in general, especially as a Bob. It feels a lot safer to just pull for the newest character, play with a 1 or 2 cost team, and clear content because it's catered for them. Thoughts?
Okay, Tribbie is #1 fan. Hold that thought. I'm gonna address this real quick. The reason why I don't care about whether or not Robin is universal with pretty much every single crit DPS is because I don't need to play with every single crit DPS. I'm not intending to build up like 3 different teams, 4 different teams, right? I'm not going to be building up Agleia. I'm not going to be putting for My Day. I'm not going to be putting for all these random ass DPS. I only want to lock in on these 2 archetypes. And that has been the usual performance of like these free-to-play players, especially for my account reviews, where they are the same free-to-play players that can perform exceptionally well. I'm not talking like 10 cycle, I'm talking like legit like 5 cycle both halves or like 4 cycle both halves, because they just locked in. So I would personally prefer this support having the innate value of specializing in this niche so much more than the next counterpart. And that would kind of lead us to how is Tribbie's kit going to be performing, and we'll have to wait 1 week before Robin's banner expire. Pretty much, yeah. I am not putting for a universal support. I am putting for a specialized support for my specialized DPS. That's pretty much it. What if future DPS can all auto-attack themselves? Wouldn't Robin face the issue with Silverwolf now in that case? If future DPS can all action value advance themselves. The problem with Babin's value is not that your DPS can action value advance, because we have seen that from E2 Dale. And E2 Dale still loves Babin, right? He still loves Babin's action value. It is more so the energy. Because Babin doesn't give you energy. Or more specifically, she doesn't give you energy to your main DPS, unlike Sunday, right? And it will really depend on how important these future DPS have a synergy with their ultimates. Because getting an extra turn, you cast off 1 extra skill, most of the time it's just probably going to be 30 energy, right? But if we're getting more and more supports that can act as like a proper, like, hypercharged battery, like an actual 5-star battery Ting Yun, like the 5-star version of the 4-star Ting Yun, it might be pretty diabolical. Because Sunday is a bit of like a both, right? Sunday has action very advanced plus a bit of a both for energy battery part. So maybe in the future, if we see more archetypes that can just all in, right? I don't know, man. 100% ultimate refund. Holy fuck. That might legit change everything. But we're at this point, we're just talking about theoreticals, we're talking about hypothetical situations, and the thing is, we don't need to think that far. The only thing that Bob and like whether or not you should pull Robin, the only factor of consideration is this current patch, Agleia's banner, and upcoming 3.1 Tribbie. These 3 should be the only knowledge that you are factoring in, because we work with what knowledge we have at this current point of time. If let's just say 4 or 5 patches down the road they release that, sure. But then again, by 4 or 5 patches later, we would have gotten the income anyways, so it wouldn't be that bad. So yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna end off this video. So I basically kind of replied to a bit of a chat's question. I will... Why not pull for Lingsha if you're going for summer archetype? Yeah, because she's like half summon, half break. I don't want that. I want a specialized one, right? Okay. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who are you gonna be putting for? Do you win your 50-50 on D Herta? Yo, next we're taking to the prime, right? So word of the day is going to be think carefully. Join Twitch, join YouTube, join Discord, join Twitter, and join Twitter. All the best for your gacha pools. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Objective truths. I just want to all... what the fuck did I just say? Bro, I'm going crazy, guys. Oh my god, I'm actually overworking. I just want... Oh, editor, please crop the out.